I am your host, Stray Cabbage, and this is the Leo Varadkar Clown Show. We're going to have a guest on tonight, Solway, and there could be a few other people coming on. The topics we'll be speaking about tonight is O'Gorman, very, very popular topic right now that's going on in Ireland. This guy's basically selling us out. We're going to go through Sinn Féin doing the U-turn on the mass immigration. They're just looking for your votes, people. They're saying anything to get your votes. And yes, I've got a thank you to somebody who bought me a coffee. A person who wanted to be unknown just called someone, bought me 3 coffees. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I generally do turn that into coffee. And yes, if you're watching this after the fact, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. If you're watching this on Rumble, because this is live on Rumble, X, and YouTube, give this a retweet, give this a Rumble, leave a comment, and share. The more shares you get, the better. YouTube's caught up to me, guys. I have to be honest with you. YouTube has caught up with me. My last channel was heavily shadowed. Now they've caught up to me again. They've realized that I'm back on here. That was my bigger channel, was coming up to 10,000 subscriptions. But listen, it is what it is. It's fine. So the only way to fight against that is to share like you do. And I appreciate everybody that does that. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Easter. You know, Solancha, I'm having a little glass of whiskey. I'm trying to stay off the drink. You know, well, I'm not an alcoholic or anything, but I'm trying to cut down on the alcohol and stuff. I've got my water here tonight. Solway's going to come on. There could be a few other people coming on. So yes, it's time to get into the show. This is the Varadkar Clown Show, #8. It's going to be changed to the Simon Harris Clown Show. Or if you've got a more creative name, then leave it in the comment section. Maybe I'll pick the best name. Whoever leaves it in the comments, I'll definitely pick the best name for that. So I'm going to play the intro now. Welcome to the Varadkar Clown Show, #8. Solway, how are you doing, brother?
Oh, good, buddy. We're all in the house, man. How are you keeping?
Well, I'll go through the comments here, and we'll just have a wee look. We'll have, yes, good to see you. And there's Stevie Boy. Good to see you too, sir.
Stevie
it's
boy.
Very, I know you're busy these days, Stevie Boy. Me and Stevie disagree on a lot of things, but Stevie's actually a very rational thinking person when it comes to a lot of things. Like Stevie would be more, he'd be on the pro-refugee side of things, but I still think he recognizes the corruption that's going on in the government, and that's what it takes, people. That's what it takes. It's not about people agreeing with everything that that you think of. You don't want that. And I respect Stevie Boy's opinion, so mad respect. And he's a mod, and he was a mod to my last channel, and he's a good lad. Obviously we've got Solway. He's joining us today. There's a lot to speak about, Solway. A lot to speak about. And yes, if anybody wants to come on, the link is pinned to the live chat if you want to come on and have your say. If you do come on, know this: porn bombing is a criminal offense. You can't spend time in jail for that. So if you come on and you porn bomb, your IP address is tracked by the cops. I can't do that. I just send this live off to the cops. They track your address. Boom. you're now on the sex offenders register. England and Ireland, Britain and Ireland adopted that. And that's one of the rules I actually agree with, because when you're trying to run a panel show and you're having people on and there's somebody going to come on and porn bomb, it should be a criminal offense. You're a sex offender, and only real, sex offenders do those things, show nudity online. Like, so don't be doing that. If you want to come on, have your say. The link is pinned to the live chat. Just click the link, enter your name, enter studio. You can hide your face, and you can come in. You can have your say on any subject that you want. You don't have to, but it's there. An option is there. So, what do you think we should speak about first, Solway? I'll tell you what. I'll let you pick the subject first.
Just the circus that's going on. What is happening with this country, man? What is happening? It's gone crazy.
If people don't know, Solway was the fella that was with me when we were lightly attacked by Antifa. He was there. He's seen the bill, and that was one of the biggest eye openers for me. Whenever I just tried to nicely approach people in the street. Do you want to just recap on that, Solway, and give your opinion about that? Because I don't think you've ever spoke about that, like, publicly. What was your interpretation of the whole thing that we went through in regards to Antifa?
It was like a gang mentality just against us. We went in neutral, and that was it. That's what we went. And I remember saying to the guy that was following us, he was saying, "Oh, you can't film here." I said, "This is a public place," and he said, "No, you can't film here." And straight away, we knew we were ganged up. It was a gang mentality, pushed onto the street in front of buses and everything. They didn't give the police didn't give a damn, told us to get back in. And we said, we can't get back in because they're making a wall for us to get back in onto safety. Like, and the Gardaí didn't give a shit either. So it was just gang mentality, hostility for no reason. Just, that's my take of it. And that's the way I see it. It's simple as.
Yeah, well, you definitely got the rough end of it. I I don't know. He got it very close to me. Thinking back at it now, if the cops were there, he was definitely in headbutt range. Do you know what I mean? That, especially that fella with the beard. The bridge of his nose could have went. My big forehead could have just fitted nicely into the bridge of his nose. The cops were there to help him. Respect the law. I don't promote violence, but looking at the situation for what it is, I don't really blame the cop. The cop done what she done. She was a 4'6" female who was
she was tiny.
20 male, two males that she's seeing provoking a situation, and there's 20 males behind her that are very angry at these other two males. So if something had popped off, even the riot police would have had trouble with that. So I don't really blame her. I walked away because I seen that she was maybe could have been in trouble, and I didn't want the cop. I'm not joking here. I didn't want the cop to get hurt because she was a lady. If I had been a bloke, I would have been, oh well.
But she was in the wrong place, wrong time. So yeah, that's the way it was. And we just walked as far away from the situation as possible. So.
And we went up nice. I was at one stage. I said to the guy, I remember saying this. I said, "Look, we're not against you. Give me a good argument to." I says, "I'm not anti-refugee. I think every country should do their fair share." I remember saying that to the guy, and I says, "But there needs to be a cap." And he looked at me, and it was like a demon possessed him. And I says, "There needs to be a cap. Do you want to come on and present your argument to me, where it can be unlimited, like an unlimited amount of people can come into the country?" And he just lit on me, and he looked at me. He looked at the cross on my neck, and he just lit on me. "Oh, you couldn't get a job with RTA or something. You couldn't get a job. You're this." And I was, "Listen, man, I'm not even media. Listen, we're independent media. We're just here. I want to have hear your say." You seen it. And next minute he starts pushing you.
Yeah.
And he's pushing that big soap dodger. The smell of that guy, the big tall fella, and he came over and he goes, "Fuck your." He looked at Solway and goes, "Fuck your
freedom of speech.
Fuck your freedom of speech."
Yeah.
And I went, and I loved it whenever you said that, by the way, because whenever you said that to him, it was like throwing holy water over him.
Yeah. It was.
He was I was like, "What the fuck? Why did you say that? Why did you say no?"
The moment I said, I have every right to stand here. It's my Irish ground. I have every right to stand there. And it's freedom of speech. He said, "Fuck your freedom of speech." And he just was raging. Then it's fat fuck him over then. And pushed me right near onto the fucking street in front of buses. Like.
Yeah, man, that it definitely was a crazy line. Listen, we'll move into O'Gorman now, right?
Mm,
Before I share this to the screen, so like
yeah.
my first introduction to O'Gorman was a family member sending me a video of him kissing his better half. We're going to use very careful words today, and we
Yeah.
do not promote any type of homophobia. Listen, I'm not homophobic. Whatever. Listen, I'm a classic liberal. You stay out of my business, and I'll stay out of yours. But
Yeah.
I seen a video of a fella kissing another fella whenever he won the job of Minister of Children, and a family member sent it to me. A very bigoted, disgusting family member sent it to me, and I remember thinking to myself, "What's going on here?" I mean, minister, okay, diversity minister, okay, I get that, but Minister of Children, like, are we having a laugh here? And then ever since then, I think that was like 2019 or some shit. Ever since then, the Ireland, not saying that that's the sole cause of it. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. He was happy. He kissed his partner. Okay, listen, I'm not here to judge. But ever since that, ever since that moment, it's just been, what is Ireland doing?
It's been
Just here,
crazy,
listen.
Liz. It's been
Like,
crazy.
let's have far left cabbage out here. Far left
Mm,
cabbage needs to come out here for this. It's just
mm.
like, let's open our doors to the migrants. And just as I say, I share my wife with 10 migrants. We had a
Oh
cracking night last
yeah.
night. I was in the
Sure,
corner
sure.
watching. I was sitting in the chair in the boxers, the white fronts. She was having fun. They were having fun. I was having fun, and everybody had a roof over their head.
It's too
And it's a
crazy.
great thing. So we were all they thems. There was not one
They
gender
names.
in that
Let's be
place. It
they
was
names.
a house of diversity. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going
Let's
on?
be day names.
What's going
We're
on
all
here?
day names. The gulag
Oh.
is real. Like, yeah.
So I'll share the first thing to the screen, right? And I'll share Ronan. Yeah, listen. Well, here, unfortunately, Stephen. I'm a bigot. So I'm a bigot. So I didn't let them come near me that way.
Yeah.
Because
I'm a
I was too
racist,
much of a
so
bigot.
yeah.
They tried to do that, and I says, "Listen, I'm too much of a bigot. I
Uh,
I save myself. I'm not much of a bigot. I don't even like doing that." They weren't happy though.
they're never
They weren't
happy.
happy. You have to take the piss out of this stuff. So there's a video. We're gonna share. Let me get this video up for you. We've got a few. We've got a few videos today. So this is. I don't know which video this is of O'Gorman, but we'll see what.
Department is projecting an average of
Gorman,
13,000 to
stop with that guy.
So is this mad muppet, right? I think this is about the hate speech bill. I forget. I haven't put these in order here. So let's see, right? So I think this is O'Gorman speaking about the hate speech bill. So we'll react to this.
Very briefly, I see here that the department is projecting an average of 13,000 to 16,000 new arrivals in the next 4 years. Is that 13,000 to 16,000 each year or in total overall? Just briefly on that point.
The average over the last 2 years has been 13,000 per year.
So no, sorry, this is him speaking about immigration, isn't it?
This is him speaking about facts he doesn't know anything about. Basically,
Yeah, but it's immigration. Just for me to,
Yeah,
I'll
it is,
probably
yeah.
be correct.
It is
So this is
immigration.
O'Gorman speaking about the numbers, the number of immigrants coming into the country, and this is Grip Media. But listen, I'm using Grip Media's stuff here. This is a reaction video. Head over and subscribe to Grip Media, and you become a member and support Grip Media on their news channel, and you get access to all their exclusive stuff. So obviously they have provided this, and I'm not going to take, I'll take this down at the request of Grip Media, no problem. But please go over and subscribe to Grip Media.
Good channel, yeah. They're a great channel. Like, so support
year, so it would be 13 to 16,000 per year.
Grant. And also on that point, Minister O'Gorman, as you know, in 2021, you published tweets in 8 different languages, such as Arabic, Georgian, and Albanian, offering own-door accommodation and various other benefits to asylum seekers. And I've interviewed asylum seekers who said on camera that they came to Ireland from the UK specifically to avail of opportunities that Justice Minister Helen
and he
McEntee
denied
had.
it.
Think about that, man.
But he
You've
just
got this
denied it.
Minister of diversity and Minister of Children putting out tweets in 8 different languages. Come to Ireland.
For freebies, yeah. Come to Ireland. You're freebies. That's all.
Like, I mean, how much more proof do people need of this agenda? It's okay, take in your fair share of refugees. Okay, I get that. But you're putting out messages on 8 different languages to promote that Ireland's got open doors. And he denies it. Let's see if he denies it, the rat.
Of course he does,
I came from England. I live in England around 15 years. I work there in black market. But when I hear about Ireland and I hear about the Justice Minister in Ireland, they open for it.
That's Helen McEntee he's talking about there. Helen McEntee and O'Gorman are basically, what their job really is the marketing team for like mass immigration into Ireland, like illegal immigration, mass illegal immigration. They're like, their jobs are solely to sell Ireland to the rest of the world. That's what they're doing right now. Like, listen to this guy. I don't even blame him. It's not even his fault.
No, he might be a genuine bloke. So
it's not even about him being a genuine bloke. Like, if you're a bad bastard around the world somewhere, right, and you come here, it's not your fault that you're a bad bastard. You're just a bad bastard. But you're thinking to yourself, where's the easiest touch country that I can come into that's going to let me in willy nilly with no passport? Oh, there's Ireland.
It's true.
Helen McEntee and O'Gorman waiting at the airport for you with holding one of those wee signs, with your name on it, and they're giving you a taxi back to the hotel. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
everyone to get a visa for asylum seeker, and I think it's a good country to get a visa from here.
So do you think then the reason you came to Ireland from England was the opportunities that were available in Ireland?
I think yes.
So I'm wondering, whatever your initial intent.
So that's him, basically. That's Grip Media showing proof that O'Gorman's speaking through his hoop, right? Speaking through his hoop, literally. And I'm sure O'Gorman can speak through his hoop, because I've heard that his hoop's pretty big and it speaks a lot. So fair play to him. So, there's a lot of noise comes out of that hoop, but you know what I mean? And that's a joke, by the way. That's a joke, right? For anybody thinking that's a joke. If I can't joke about, I joke about everything. I joke about myself. I'm not saying, I'm not hating on anybody that's into that. I don't care if that's the way you're that way inclined. Okay. But I'm just having a joke. It's just jokes. Don't get too offended.
Taking the piss. We're taking the piss.
It may have been, in hindsight, do either of you accept that your statements and actions might have contributed or created a pull factor that we're seeing now with the asylum numbers in Ireland?
What's the bet, Solway, that sign language guy in the middle there is thinking to him, he would be better off just doing this here, like knobhead, like just constantly just sit there, just like as if he's I'm with two knobheads.
You should just have shotgun signs to both their heads, like just because they're full of shit. Like they're both just as evil as each other. Like, just end their fucking lives. Like.
Well, I didn't tweet in the way you say. What I did is we provided the information about the white paper across a number of languages, recognising that there are people of many different nationalities in the international protection system at that time, as there is right now, and allowing them to understand the changes that we were making. And that it was the executive summary of the document that was tweeted and was converted into different languages and was tweeted. There was no offer, as you portrayed.
It was a full-blown offer. What more? Like, it's like the gaslighting in the situation. It's
it was on the plate. Like
that's like me saying to Solway, "Listen, Solway, there's a job." That's like me saying to you, Solway, "There's a job up here, right? There's a job vacant up here. It pays £1 million a year, but don't come here." And you're qualified for the job, and only you can get the job, but don't come here. What are you going to do?
Tear up your documentation, tear up everything that you have. Just don't.
You're going to come here.
Yeah, of course I'm going to come there. Freebies everywhere, so it's all free on, like just free for everybody, free for all.
I wouldn't mind if Ireland was that, if they were that nice to their own people, but this is no joke, right? Everybody knows I've got an autistic son. When I say autistic, he's got Donald Trump syndrome, where he doesn't give a fuck. Like literally, I'm not going to listen. See, on a side note, I have to say this here on a side note. His autism was just. Would you hear this here for some mad shit? Right, I have to say this on a side note. Right, we were in the swimming pool today, right, and I don't know how the conversation got into it. Yeah, we're going to go on holiday, and I says to him, "Oh yeah, I met my first girlfriend whenever I was in Ibiza, and she was Scottish." And you know what he said to me, right? And this is just autism, right? And this can come across. Now, he has no influence. I'd influence him politically, no way, shape, or form, right? No, he doesn't get anything like that from me. And he goes to me, Irish people should only breed with Irish people. And I went, what? And he went, you shouldn't have you shouldn't have had a Scottish girlfriend. I goes, your mother's English. He goes, I know, but she was living here longer in Ireland than she was in England, so she's more Irish. And I went, what? I go, so you think that you should only breed with the people of your country? And he's like, yes. And I was like, mate, you're we need to get you into politics. We need to get you into politics, son. We're getting you into politics.
That's brilliant, though. That's brilliant, man. I love his mind. I love his mind. He's learning, man. He's learned a lot. He's learning.
Yeah. But
I love it.
Of course,
I love it.
O'Gorman, this is a full blown offer to anybody that wants to come into Ireland. Who puts out a tweet in 8 different languages?
O'Gorman does. And then denies it. Yeah, then denies it.
O'Gorman, a multilinguistic king of immigration.
King of everything.
God.
King of losing kids
there.
also, yeah.
We'll continue to inform those in the international protection process in terms of the changes that we're looking that we're looking to make. But I think it's also very clear in terms of that kind of wider discussion about push and pull factors. We know since December of last year we haven't been able to accommodate everybody arriving in the country. We know there have been people and are people sleeping rough right now, and yet in January and February of this year we've seen the highest number of arrivals per month.
14,000 Irish homeless people on the streets, cold, hungry, and nobody gives a fuck about them.
Yeah, it's a fact. But he can put tents up for everybody else, so he can let them come in with droves of tents for them. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Like, I mean, like, what's going on here, man? Okay, listen, people disagree. I've lost subs over this. I don't think any country should be off the table when it comes to refugees, but there needs to be a cap where we go, not a quota where you go to EU immigration pact where you give them a quota and go, well, we're going to take in 100,000, right? No. You say, well, what we're going to do is we're going to put a cap at 35,000. We're not going to take any more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to review the 35,000 to see if they're eligible to go back to their own country, because it's not, and then we're going to have a better immigration policy. We're going to promote Ireland for legal immigration so people can come here and work. And we're going to have this lovely legal immigration society where people can create businesses and the economy is good. But we're not here. It's like modern day. People don't get this. Anybody on the left that's watching this right now, right? What the far left regime is doing in Ireland is basically using migrants as slaves. That's what they're doing.
Cheap labor. That's all it is. Cheap labor. And voting.
Slaves, but for votes too. Solway, they use them for votes because once you get an Irish identification card, you can vote in an Irish general election. So that's using. They're brought in for votes.
Keep the corrupt in power. That's all it is.
Do you know what I mean?
Why does China not have this immigration problem? Like, because they're saying no to everything. Like
China's too far the other way, where they lock up migrants, and I disagree with that too. Like what they done something to the Uyghur Muslims, didn't they?
That's true as well.
They locked a load of these Muslim fellas up, and I was like, I disagree with that too. It's too far the other way. It's too far conservative, where you're locking boys up for being a Muslim. I disagree with that too. I think that what's happening around the world, the wars that's creating these refugees that are coming into this country. It's not a coincidence that we've got open door policy at the same time that these wars are created. And I think that the wars are created to have the migration, to push people to migrate. Like, look at all the proxy wars going on in Africa. Right now, America and Britain have got mad involvement in the proxy wars all across Africa. That's driving, like, money getting pumped into a Boko Haram. I can't prove it. I'm not saying that's 100% true, but look at all the terrorist organizations. ISIS created by basically the Barack Obama Foundation. Do you know what I mean?
That's true as well. Yeah, that's true. You got to look at the whole bigger picture of what's going on. Yeah, I agree.
Let's face facts, right? If me and you went to, I'm not saying that all of Africa is racist, right? But if me and you were dropped into the middle of the Congo right now, right, and we walked into a town, and they have never seen a white man before in their life, and they went up to us and they put us in prison for 2 days because they found that suspicious. I wouldn't say that's racist. I would say that that's them protecting their tribe or their colony or their town.
Their culture, their whole town,
I don't know what the fuck's going
on.
Two
strangers, We're strangers.
But if we see criminals in the street, if we actually point out like criminal activity because of the open door policies, or you're a racist bigot, and then you've got O'Gorman here, like how does like, for the people who support O'Gorman, and this is a direct message to O'Gorman himself. O'Gorman's he's a gay man. He's a member of the LGBTQ. Do you understand the ideology that's coming in? Do you understand, like, a Boko Haram, North Africa, Central Africa, Middle Eastern Islam? Do you understand that they literally throw people off the rooftops for identifying with the LGBTQ, and how that is actually counterproductive to a progressive message? Do they even understand that?
I don't think O'Gorman even understands that, to be honest. I don't think he ever seen that happen. So,
do you know what? I might just join the Islamic cause then and just be like, okay, you just want it. I'm an advocate for Islam then. 20 years time, I'm sitting in a mosque while O'Gorman's in prison. Because
I hope so. I hope he's in prison someday. I hope he is.
What would happen? People don't realize that, though. We're backing the left. We're backing the LGBTQ more than they back themselves, because if it goes the way they want it to go, and there has all this more people coming in, the more these people are coming in from heavy not Islamic, because Islam's beautiful in a certain way. Yeah, I really need to state that Islam in itself, there's really beautiful Muslims. I'm not getting the Muslims, but I'm talking about Sharia law.
Just heavy ideology. That's heavy shit. Yeah.
Yes, they're bringing in people that are advocates for that. 20 years time, you won't even know Ireland. Boom, O'Gorman's in prison because he's you know what. And they're not going to put me in prison. They're going to go, Ronan, you're a Christian. You've got a wife. You've got a son. You're okay. Everything's A-okay here, son. 100%. That's what they're going to do. So, on your own demise, O'Gorman, keep doing what you're doing, son. You know, let's
let them fall upon their sword. Yeah, let them fall on their own sword. So.
Exactly.
Ever.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead there, Sol. I didn't mean to cut you off.
The scene out the scene what happened with the no vote, so it says it all. They lost.
Yeah, but the no vote, what people need to know about the no vote is that Irish natives were only able to vote in that, and immigrants that have been living here, that have had visas and have had their full citizenship. But when it comes to general elections, anybody with an Irish ID card can vote. So all the 70%, even the undocumented males that have an Irish ID card, they vote in the general election. So it's a completely different type of election, and I think that's why they're bringing them in.
Yeah,
completely.
Voting system, yeah.
So I'll play this on here, and we'll react to the rest of it.
Go ahead.
I think this question of pull I think it's far more a question of push factors, that people fleeing wars, fleeing conflict, are looking to get into Europe and looking to move to the EU for safety, for shelter, some for economic reasons, and where that's identified in the International Protection Programme, they won't get international protection. But I think it's the push factors from the many countries where there is war, where there is conflict, where there aren't economic opportunities. Those are the things that draw people to Ireland, not anything that I've ever tweeted.
Hold on. No, right. Obviously, Ireland's going to have some type of an attraction to people because of the free society. Well, the illusion of democracy, anyway, right? But don't tell me that putting out a tweet as a minister of children, diversity, and whatever other shit that he's a minister of isn't in 8 different languages isn't going to have an effect of like promotion. Where people have seen that tweet. There was a fella seen that tweet, an Islamist seen that tweet, and he says he came here because he's seen O'Gorman's tweet. He was like, I can't believe it. Open doors. Yes, let's go.
That's it. Like O'Gorman opened a can of worms like that he can't control now. So that's the way it is. It's you see what's going on now, Ronan. So you have your eyes open.
Oh, man, before I went down to Dublin, I was outspoken about things, but I didn't realize how bad
it was.
Ireland got in regards to it became like a Nazi state, and I didn't like that whenever I seen the police. Now, some of the police were 100% fine, but like the ones at the top, I bumped into a cop on his bike, and he sort of came off his bike a little bit, and I apologized, and he was sweet, and he heard my northern accent, he started laughing and all, we're having a bit of crack, and it was 100% fine. But as soon as we got into the inner city, right outside the GPO, I was like, the cops were coming up to me, like the riot cops were coming up to me, bouncing, wanting me to fucking like pop off because they wanted blood, and I didn't feel safe. Like I felt if something pops off here, they're going to kill me here, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe wouldn't have happened, but proof's in the pudding. You know, I know she was a 4'6" cop who couldn't have done fuck all to help anybody, but she went for us to tell us to leave when we were the ones that were attacked. So she upheld the criminals and didn't,
step in at all. Yeah.
I'm just saying, so
it's fact.
It's just a fact. Like, so McEntee's going to speak here, I believe, and every time she speaks, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Oh God, I can't stand this one.
It is so important that we always do the right thing here. And for me, the right thing is providing protection for those who genuinely need it. The world is a changing place. There is significant increases in conflict across the globe. Climate change is having a massive impact.
What has climate change got to do with Ireland? Ireland has no impact on climate change.
This is the one that said the streets are safe.
What has climate change got to do with Ireland? My God, Ireland's like, going by the left's narrative, Ireland's like 85% land. Like like nobody's inhabitable, no people on that fucking land. What's
more
forests?
We've more forests than she actually knows of. Like,
it's not even about it's not about forests. It's like we aren't not even a drop in the ocean. You have China, China coming out here,
China,
dropping fucking nuclear waste into the water, killing the fucking marine life,
testing bombs in the water,
making an abundance of plastic. They're making 1 million tons of plastic every 16 hours or some mad shit. They're pumping so much CO2 into the earth, and nobody gives a fuck about them. No sanctions. And actually, if anything, these fucks like McEntee and O'Gorman praise China because of their communistic society. Ireland should not even be on the table when it comes to climate change. We do not contribute to climate change whatsoever. So stop. See this here, guys. You need to really stamp your foot down this, because this is where they tax you. They're doing it in Canada, and it's fucking disgusting. Western people are being destroyed with this ideology and the gremlin Greta. Do you know what I mean? This
Greta.
Fucking Greta, man.
And there are people who genuinely are fleeing starvation, persecution, and war. And I think as a country, particularly people who have sought refuge in other countries over the years, there is an onus on us, and I think people want to provide that protection. At the same time, for those who are coming here seeking economic benefits, and we don't blame people for that, this is not the right system to use. So again, I won't apologise for saying the international protection system is not for those who are economic migrants. Everything that I've been doing for the past 3 years is to make sure that system turns people around quickly, that it's fair to those who genuinely need our help, and it's firm to those who don't. And I think the vast majority of people would agree with having a system like that. If saying that...
What type of a demon do you think possesses her soul?
She is just pure evil. Just, it's not a demonic entity. It's just, she's a fuckwit. Like, her head is up her ass, and she has nothing going for her. She's looks wise. Nah.
Now listen here. I'm not going to down a woman. No, listen. Listen. We're not going to down a woman. Wait, listen here. Whatever. Like, I mean,
I don't like her.
I've seen worse. I'm not going to lie to you.
She's worse though.
You know what I mean? I've seen worse. What type? Like, for her, do you think it's just her going, I want to be a career politician, and these are the things I need to say the step up the European ladder, so Big Daddy Klaus Schwab give me a pat in the back and a nice little robe for the New World Order?
That's all she is. She's sucking Big Daddy off in the WEF. That's all she's doing. And it proves she's satanic. She's satanic. She's a satanic bitch. That's all she is. Like Roderick O'Gorman. They're all satanic. They're all worshipping the wrong'uns in EU. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, man. It's just like the chat here. There is nobody pro Helen McEntee or O'Gorman.
Yeah.
And I know people in the chat that have criticized me on certain like right-wing policies that I agree with, and they don't even come to the defense of this here. Like, there's nothing about this person. Like, this person, if you go back, Ireland fighting for its civil rights, 1968, Ireland fighting for its independence a century ago, these people are the types of people to sell out to the Brits. Do you know what I mean? Like, they sold out
the country already, so they sold everything that we had, like, or have, like, in our generation that's grown up, we have nothing. They've sold it all to the EU, and it's controlling what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And if we join this pact, which I hope we fucking don't, as you've made a video on, we are screwed. I think
Niall McConnell just dropped a video there today saying that we have joined it. I think they've signed it and all. So I think we'll have. And what? Listen, we'll wrap this up and then we'll talk about the EU immigration pact, right? So let's react to the end of this video and then we'll talk about that.
Attracts people to this country. I won't change those words. I think we need to protect those who need it, provide the support for those who need it. But for those who don't, and there's a lot of people coming here who don't need our protection, I'm very clear as well, they shouldn't be here. They need to be returned home as soon as possible.
But hold on, right? So we'll take that away, right? Right. Let's remove that, right? So Helen, this is a direct message to Helen McEntee, right? If you ever get to watch this, somebody who has any type of an influence, clip this, please, and send this to her, right? Helen, how are you supposed to identify somebody that isn't supposed to be in the country whenever they're coming in without identification? So 70%, I hear it's actually higher, 85%, but I'm going to be conservative and say 70% of the people that come into this country documented now. This is a registered fact that they will teach in schools in many years to come whenever they're talking about you, Helen McEntee. 70% of them do not have identification. And you said to get into this country, they still need to prove who they are, even if they don't have the correct documentation, i.e. passports, driving license. I say is, how do they prove who they are if they don't have the legitimate documentation? And now what you're coming out with this bullshit statement that you're going to deport them back. But sure, how can you deport somebody back and you don't even know who they are? You're giving them an Irish ID card. You're Helen, you're giving them an Irish ID card
for no reason.
A different alias, might be a completely different name. You've maybe verified them by a phone number from, I don't know, whatever country they've came from. Somebody who makes one of these calls 100 times a day to verify who people are going into weak countries like Ireland. And you're giving them a different alias. They could be anybody. They could be a terrorist. If I was England or the United States of America, I would be getting involved saying, hold on here, Ireland. You could be housing actual terrorists. Doesn't matter what type of a terrorist, neo-Nazi, Islamic, whatever. Buddhist terrorist, who gives a fuck? You are possibly housing terrorists here. Ireland could be possibly one terrorist cell. that's holding people who hate Western democracy. So get your fucking act together. That's what you're going to be remembered for, Helen. Nothing else. The person who started the destruction of Ireland. We're not against refugees. Put a cap on it, okay. But not this endless cycle. EU immigration pact. What do you think about it, Solway?
I think it's the worst decision on this planet because it's going to be a EU decision maker for our country. They already made share this country already. So, and you got to look at what's going on when a person joins ISIS, they tear up their passports, and it's like the reverse version of that going on coming into Ireland now. In the way I see it, they're tearing up their identification passports as that's the way I see it. They're tearing up identification. You don't know who the fuck they are. And EU is allowing this.
Well, it comes to the... So my opinion has changed a little bit on the EU Immigration Pact. I think it's Ireland passing the buck onto the EU. So what they're trying to say is that it's better for them to join this EU Immigration Pact because then any refugee or asylum seeker that comes into Ireland will be passed through a safe country first and verified that they're not like a terrorist. So I was looking into how the EU verifies who people are. It's the same as Ireland. They can come in. If they don't have a passport or they don't have a driving license or a passport, they still have to verify who they are. I.e. a fucking phone call from some mad cunt who makes one of these phone calls 100 times a day.
Who claims they're the person, Could be
given an EU identification card, which allows them to vote in Europe elections, not only, and then smaller elections in whatever said country they want to reside. So what it is, Ireland wants to join the EU Immigration Pact to pass the buck to EU. So for instance, when Ireland changes in 10 years time and you look around and it's just like 1 million more people and there's fentanyl in the streets and we're living in hell, Helen McEntee's going to turn around and say, well, it wasn't our fault because it was the EU Immigration Pact and it was the quota that we give them and they just it was out of our hands. So that's what they're doing, passing the buck. Once again, Helen, this won't go away. You're going to have to imprison 3/4 of Ireland before this goes away. This. I mean, please, hopefully,
like Helen will have to imprison all the Irish to actually get her fucking plane across. We will all be in jail over what we're saying. Like, eventually, I think.
Stephen Graham says, what pub did you get? I actually collect a glass out of every bar. I said, so why did I take that? Remember we went to the pub in Dublin that time? Did I take a glass home with me?
I think you did.
No, I didn't. Did I?
Did you? I don't know.
I think I could have. I have about 40 of these, all different glasses. This one is from I think it's from Belfast. It could be. Yeah, it's Harp beer.
You stealing bastard.
For some reason, I just keep doing it. I can't help. I'm a kleptomaniac.
Harp is good though. I like Harp.
Do you sell Harp down south?
We have Harp in there, in the local fucking off license, yeah. I love Harp.
You didn't years ago. You had some other mad shit.
We had,
I remember some
crazy shit, yeah. But
you drink a lot of Carlsberg, don't you?
Carlsberg is nice as well. I like Carlsberg, but I'm the Guinness person. I like Guinness and a few whiskeys. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I've got a whiskey here. I haven't drank it because I'm trying to stay on the water because I'm fasting tomorrow, and it's going to be a hard day for me tomorrow.
Just fast, man. Just fast. Just keep fasting, and we'll do it again.
Let me have a wee. Do you think about it is with me with whiskey? I can drink whiskey all night and I'm 100% fine. See as soon as I get a feed of vodka in me, that's whenever I don't know what it is.
Fuck is evil.
I don't know what it, and you add some Red Bull to that. Oh, like
double madness. That's all it is. Double madness.
It's you may as well, I don't know what that is. It's just like let's have a fight now. I suppose this is what we're doing. We'll get the cage out. Just
two Cage Warriors. Yeah.
if you ever come up to mine, right, and you bring a bottle of vodka, bring a pair of MMA gloves and a gum shield and a baseball bat to knock me out with, because it's not that not that I can fight. I get
I'm
the
ready
fucking
Mickey Fins.
I know, man. What's that about, like?
Hell
Do you know what I mean? Hold on, what did Stevie Boy say there? He's saying €3.50 a pint. Where are you getting that, Stevie? Wasn't you broke?
Stevie, where the fuck is that? Is that in Dublin, like, Stevie? Where the fuck is that?
Stevie, what bar did we go to, Solway?
We went on the Keys.
How much was it a pint?
It was probably $5.50, was it?
That near killed me, man. I walked in. I had 50 because I had euro from the last time I was down.
Yeah.
So I think I had €100, and I went down. I spent €50 on the way down because I'm a moron. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm going to keep €50 just for a couple of pints for me and Solway. Walk into the bar. No one said $6.50 or $5. It was like $6.20 at one place.
$6.20, yeah.
And I looked at her
near the train station, yeah. $6.20
for a pint. Like,
1 pint.
This is Ireland. Are you serious? Is there anything else that you sell cheaper? Because I want to get fucked up in like 50. You can't get fucked up in €50. Come on, like.
Oh, that was madness. That was like a mortgage taken out on a pint. Like, just
that's Stevie Boy all over. Like, Stevie knows where to get a pint.
Stevie, you need to bring us there. Stevie,
Stevie wouldn't be seen dead with me.
Bring us there. Stevie, please bring us there.
Because you told we were in Dublin and you says to me, I know this good place. Come on, right? And we're walking around. And do you remember we seen that little cunt that attacked us in Antifa? You remember that?
He's walking around, yeah.
That untold. I
and
never
he's
told that
by himself. He's not brave then. Like,
he wasn't here. He fucking shot off quickly. But was he? I'm looking back now. Was he following us?
He was probably scoping out the area. He probably did follow us. I'd say.
The wee wanker. He should have come over and stiffed me then. Why did he not? We were down a back alley. He could have came down. I would have loved that.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
Them down that back alley with no cameras.
No cameras, nothing. It was shut down as far as I know. Yeah. So
that big soap dodger had it came down.
Yeah.
Here you. Oh, that would be great. I would just straight over bang, grab his nose, rip that off.
The two of us, man. The two of us would kick the fuck out of him.
Just even if you get you a couple of times, as long as you get him, and then there's no cameras there. But one
leave
thing
them there. Just leave them there.
Just leave him there and just go fuck you.
Leave him there and fuck off.
I know one thing I noticed about Dublin. There's cameras everywhere. You're being
but
watched.
down the alleyway. I think that place was shut. So I went there in 2020 and it was open. So I think it was shut down big time. So it was an ideal place.
You took us down. It was closed, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" Yeah. We came out. You were a wee bit thing about that, and we walked into a bar, and we were a wee bit cautious going into that bar because you don't know if you're going into somebody's stronghold, like like an Antifa stronghold. We could walk into the bar and all those things are sitting there.
I don't think Antifa won't fuck with that place. As far as I know, the Antifa are not liked in Dublin as much as they think they are. Yeah.
We need a bar that we can go to in Dublin that we know that we can go to. So anytime we're down for these protests,
just start off, yeah.
It's not even just a start off point. If shit goes up, if shit goes down, then we can we know we can go to that bar. Like if we're in a fucking mad scrap with people, like if Antifa come up again, maybe just start battering the head of me. I can at least if we get split up, that's the bar to go to. So we need a stronghold. We need to find a bar that's willing to put up with us.
I agree with that. It's a bad way to be in this world, but it works. It works though. It works.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen again, right? Oh, hold on. But this time I'm going to do a video file. Let me get this up. So this is O'Gorman again, but I don't know if this is the same one.
Be provided with
O'Gorman,
the department
So let me. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. Right. So we'll see what it is.
Firstly, the department will be provided with state lands to quickly bring on stream accommodation through renovation and through rapid build modular units. Secondly, the department is being supported financially by the Department of Public Expenditure through the new capital ceilings agreed today to allow the targeted purchase of medium and large.
I'm sorry, right? He started speaking there at the beginning and I zoned out and I started thinking about fucking chicken nuggets. I have to listen to that again, guys. I don't know. I don't even know what he said there. That's why. That's how boring this guy is. Like, let me just play this again.
The department will be provided with state lands to quickly bring on stream accommodation through renovation and through rapid build modular units. Secondly, the department is being supported financially by the Department of Public Expenditure through the new capital ceilings agreed today to allow the targeted purchase of medium and larger properties in turnkey or near current turnkey condition. And thirdly, the government has agreed to further extend planning exemptions to allow for the conversion of commercial properties to IP accommodation with a focus on empty office blocks. Given the current downturn that we're seeing in the commercial property sector right now, my officials have identified the potential for accommodation at scale to be sourced and converted using this approach.
So I'm gathering here, what he's talking about there is he's upgrading the fucking facilities for the people coming into Ireland, but at the same like people need to know, right, why Irish people are so angry here. Since the 80s, the fucking 80s, the Irish government hasn't give one fiddlers about the homeless conditions, the homeless people in Ireland, regardless of their race, skin color, or religion or nationality. They never occurred. Now, big bad Europe's came in and has given them money to fund this here. They're all about helping the homeless, but they don't give a fuck about the 14,000 homeless Irish people that's on the streets. Now, I don't want to see anybody homeless in the streets of Ireland, because I know that there was kids in Tent City, in inner city Dublin, which fucking broke my heart, because I don't want to see any kid homeless. I don't care about their nationality. I don't give a fuck if somebody's going to come to me and say, oh, I don't like refugees. Well, whatever. Okay. But that's a child to me. No child should be fucking homeless. And the fact that the government was allowing that, to me, is an indication that they're just a pack of morons that are just career politicians looking to get their foot up in the European ladder. But at the same time, let's call a spade. O'Gorman, McEntee, Varadkar, Mary Lou McDonald, what do you call the other rest of the concert? I'm losing thought now. But they're all the real racists, because they would happily allow Dublin to turn to shit and have loads of people in tents and have those people living in those tents vote for them to keep them in power and then keep them living in those tents. It's like Scotland and Nicola Sturgeon. She had all the fucking people homeless in Govan Hill. Speak to Alex Kearney about this. He'll tell you he's a better man than me. And they were voting to keep her in power. And that's what that create, a human trafficking ring. So right now, I think we'll move into this sole way. We'll talk about Tusla, and I want to get your opinion on Tusla.
Let's talk about. See what happens.
So what's your opinion on Tusla?
Tusla is, to me, just a ring. Because O'Gorman is head of children, and why does he not acknowledge the missing kids that are missing? Is my question then. The girl that turned up in a brothel a year later, right? People calling on that.
Solway, we're picking up what you're saying, but it's a wee bit glitchy there. We can hear what you're saying, but it's a wee bit glitchy.
Let's start again. Can you hear me?
Keep talk there. Just a wee bit glitchy, but we're okay.
O'Gorman. Can you hear me? O'Gorman and this scenario, like, can you hear me?
I can hear you a little bit.
It's 50-50.
That's better now.
Right. Let's speak faster. O'Gorman and the scenario, the Tusla scenario, is that he don't acknowledge what's on. He won't acknowledge where kids were missing there. where the guy ended up in the bottle. He won't acknowledge any of that at all because he knows exactly he's involved in it with the CEO of Tusla, CEO that's above.
You're glitching there again. I apologize, mate. I know, but I want you to get, because I know you're passionate about this, so I want you to get your message across loud and clear. But you're glitching there. Is your phone away from the Wi-Fi box a little bit, or your laptop?
It's a mile away. It might be connection, might be signal, maybe signal. Can you hear me?
Stevie Boy said, "Turn off your vibrator."
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. It's Tusla that's stepping in.
Tell you what, you come back, right? Kick yourself out, leave studio, and then come straight back in.
Myself off.
Yeah, and then come straight back in.
I'll kick myself out. That's cool.
Right, Solway. Solway back on in 2 minutes. So Solway's going to talk about Tusla. Now, the reason why I got involved with the Tusla stuff was because of Solway. He sent me all the relevant information. I looked into it and I couldn't believe the Tusla. I thought it was a joke. I thought Solway was having me on. He was pulling my leg. Tusla, a girl from West Africa, was tracked, came in under the open border policies of Ireland. She came in from West Africa. She was tracked by a West African gang. She was in Tusla's company for a couple of minutes. She was taken from Tusla and she was found a year later at 15 in a brothel. So tell me, have we got an issue there? And listen, people are saying to me up north, sure, that's got fuck all to do with us. That has everything to do with us, because guess how they get into England? They come. Do people even realize how relaxed the ferry is across the water to England from the north here? You don't need identification. They don't even need to know who you are. You just get on the boat and that's it. Away you go. How many kids are being shipped into England, being shipped into Ireland via these relaxed border policies? Listen, as I say, I'm not anti-refugee. Everybody needs to do their fair share, but there needs to be a cap. But this open door policy is creating human trafficking rings inside Ireland right now. You want the proof? Just look at the Tusla situation. Solway's trying to come back on now. Let's have a wee look at the chat. And making sure. Solway, you there? You there, mate?
Row.
Can you hear me?
Row. Am I there? Am I here? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Bad connection.
I can hear you, mate.
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Bad connection. But you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Can
you hear me?
We're back. We're back. We're back. And
that's it. Good. All good. Wherever your device
is,
just leave it there, because that's perfect.
So, I can hear you.
Right. So Tusla,
100%.
Take it away about Tusla.
100%. I'll leave it there.
So what did you want to say about Tusla?
To me, O'Gorman, O'Gorman knows the CEO. He denied it in the dial, and he knows exactly who the guy is. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's supplying the WF EU fucking the big elites in the EU with kids right now. That's my opinion on it, is what I say. And I believe that. Can you hear that, Ron?
Yeah, like,
that's my opinion.
Like, we need to clarify here. you know, we need to be really careful what we say in regards to that. You know, there's no evidence of that. There's no proof of that. But hypothetically speaking, we'll not say any names individually, but could a politician take advantage?
He denied. He denied. There's proof. There's proof in that.
Go ahead, Solly.
But he knows not to say anything because he knows he's involved. That's the thing. And he turned up in a brothel, for fuck's sake, and he can't explain that in 20 minutes being in Tusla's care, like, for fuck's sake. It says all about his connections, like, obviously the dog being genuine, like.
And what
So,
and in regards, we'll keep his name out of the scenario, right? Just say we're
can you
talking
hear
about
me?
a different politician here, just to keep legal
Yeah. We'll keep it,
ourselves in the legal
yeah.
playing field here.
Yeah.
But say
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
about a different politician. What
Yeah.
evidence we
Yeah.
have of a
Yeah.
different politician? What other evidence is there on a different politician that there's a facilitation of a child trafficking gang in Ireland?
It speaks for itself, like, because a kid turned up in a brothel a year later and nobody seen. It speaks like anything that any person would say. Like, if your kid went missing, you want to know every detail of the scenario. It's no different. You would chase heaven and hell to find out where it began, who was involved. You would know, any parent would.
Yeah, personally myself, the fact that there was no follow-up on that young girl that was found in the brothel, the fact that that was allowed, the fact that they tried to sweep that under the carpet, the fact that Idle Care Services were fabricating background checks on employees, the work around vulnerable children, the fact that, you know, the open door policy was directly linked to this trafficking gang, the fact that they came out and they actually legitimized the gang as West African. For me personally, that is an indication that there is these organized crime gangs working in Ireland, not just selling fentanyl and putting deadly drugs like fentanyl on the streets, but they're also dabbling in the human trafficking of children into Ireland. And I would go one further to say, Solway, and to take people's names out of it for legality reasons, I would say that Ireland right now is the hub. It's the hub of human trafficking around the world because it's got access to Britain, like via Northern Ireland, the north of Ireland, because of the boats. It's got access to South America, and it's got a massive multicultural trade with an open door policy. Not a lot of countries around the world has that type of access. So Ireland could be the tuck shop for the elites to come and buy their adrenabone. I'll keep it at that, or their you know, their certain products that are illegal. I would go as far as to say that
it's an easy target. That's all. Ireland is an easy target, and they use the government. These guys are using the government for their own sick fucking fantasies or whatever they want. Like, they're just using the government. That's all they're doing. Users are abusers, and there you go. It's proof of the pudding that. That's why the government is being used by the WEF and the EU.
And just a question for you: why do you think Varadkar really left? Do you think he left? Now, we'll have to say, if you're going to always say allegedly if it's going to be like, you know, like a theory of yours, but why do you think he left? Do you think the job just got too much of him, or do you actually think there's going to be an allegation coming out about him? Because he hinted at that. He said. Well, he didn't hint at it. He says if an allegation comes out, which possibly could.
Allegedly, allegedly, I think he's seen what was going down in the WEF and the EU, and this maybe that's my. He backed out so fast, like it don't make sense to me. If he's so involved in the WEF, he must have seen something that was not good as well. Also, is my opinion.
Yeah, like maybe it comes at a time when Ireland's going to join the EU immigration pact, and I think that's got a lot to do with it too, with Varadkar leaving, because the way he sees it, there's no win-win for me here. If I sign this and I allow Ireland to sign, maybe he, in a certain degree, was against the EU immigration pact. Maybe he wasn't going to join it, and maybe he's seen the political landscape. Because there's one thing that stood out to me about Varadkar, right, that nobody else picked up on. He said that I have the power, don't quote me on these exact words, I have the power to stop protests if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to crack down on them because it's their right to do so, even if they protest outside my house. Even if the only worry I would have is that it would have an effect on my neighbours. And to a certain degree, even though that he was a woke puppet idiot clown, I respected that. But what I'm getting from the likes of Simon Harris, McEntee, O'Gorman is full scale, we're going to crack down on all of this. Like Simon Harris has recently come out and said that he's not going to take away the hate speech bill. I know you had Michael O'Keefe on Twitter there saying that that the hate speech bill is crumbling around them and it's going to be scrapped. Listen, it's not scrapped yet. And Simon Harris, if he goes full far left regime here, he might see this as a prime opportunity to get his foot in the ladder in Europe and go and get the support from the European elites. Whenever he says, look, we've got a hate speech bill here, we're going to have the strongest one in Europe, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. How do you think that one goes?
I think it goes downhill fairly fast, I think, in my opinion, because they're all stuck up each other's asses, and none of them have a pair of bollocks between their legs. So it's going to go downhill fast, and this is the WEF that ruins countries for a living. And the EU ruins countries for a living. Sweden is proof of that. Sweden, every day of the week, there's bombs going off, there's pipe bombs going off. It's proof of the pudding of open borders also. So that's what I see.
Did you hear about the links to, apparently Ireland sent supplies. I don't know if this is verified or not. This was just sent to me in a text by somebody from Palestine. I've got somebody in Palestine right now in the borders. I've got somebody in the lab and Palestine doing humanitarian work at the minute. And they said to me that a lot of the supplies that was from Ireland that was sent to Palestine, Hamas actually stole that. And just to move on to a different subject here, and Hamas actually stole that, and there was some type of pipe work that was sent over there. Like there was, it was for water. It was for water, and apparently they were making them into pipe bombs, and it wasn't used to give water to thirsty kids, and it was used to make pipe bombs. So we find ourselves in a situation where Ireland's giving aid to Yeah. How do you think about that? Like, just Ireland we're seeming to be getting the fucking hand taken out of us here. Like, you there? Solway? Well, that's the thing, Stevie boy. When it comes to the Palestinian situation right now, there's a lot of people that don't really understand my thinking when it comes. Sorry, you were off.
We are being walked along. That's all we are. They're just going to use us and abuse us. And I'm here. Can you hear me?
Solway, your volume went down there. We couldn't hear you there for about 20 seconds.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now. I can hear you. You're back now.
Breaking up. Am I back?
So go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm just saying, the EU is going to use us like a used condom. That's all they're just going to use us, use the politicians, and abuse them. That's all they're going to. They're like you said, useful idiots. That's all they are to them. EU is going to just walk all over them and use them to ruin countries. That's all they're going to do. Where every politician they have. What's your opinion 100%. On that? Yeah, we're just used. That's all we are.
Yeah. I think Ireland right now is the guinea pig to what other. Yeah. Well, Sweden definitely. Like if you know about Sweden's actually been decimated by a cultural change, and there has been no integration whatsoever. And here, do you want to hear a mad one? What they were doing in Sweden It was,
Yeah,
and they were doing it in England too. It was, they were bringing migrants into secondary schools, like all girls secondary schools, and they were advertising like on websites in England and Sweden about the like young girls saying, yes, migrants are welcome here.
yeah.
Migrants,
I've
asylum.
seen that. I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
But they
Advertising
were
for it.
all,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it was like, hold on, you're using schoolgirls. Like, if you're a high testosterone male in Africa
Mm.
who maybe is in a war-torn situation, and now you're seeing, I don't know what age these young girls were. I'm assuming they weren't at the age of consent.
Yeah.
You're seeing that, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm going to go there because they're even offering their young girls to us, because that's the way they see that.
Just
Do you know what I
enticing
mean?
them. Yeah.
If you
That's all they're doing.
see the rape statistics in Sweden, have you seen the rape statistics in just all around Europe at the minute? They've just
Yeah.
skyrocketed. Like Barcelona was always bad. Portugal
Yeah.
was bad to a certain degree
It's got
too.
worse. It's got worse.
But it's got really, really,
It's
really bad.
quadrupled. Yeah.
It's quadrupled. It's off the charts, and that's a complete cultural change. You see, because they don't understand. You're bringing a load of fellas in from a completely different culture into a European culture where women aren't covered, so they're not around that. We've seen the videos of the guys whacking off in the taxis. You've seen that one video of the guy.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
He whips out his big lanyard and starts whacking off to the lady that's driving the taxi, and he can't even help it because she's not covered. And they say, well, the women should be covered, but that's not the culture here. Women don't cover because of men. We can control ourselves. Most of us can control ourselves, but there's men out there, obviously, that don't control themselves, that are native, that get convicted for rape and go to prison, and rightly
It's
so.
true. It happens. It happens. Yeah.
But they don't come from.
But
They come from.
Ronan, it's their are bred into the grape aspect. They are bred from day one. Grape and drugs, selling everything as a commodity to survive. Like, so, that's what we're bringing to the countries.
Interesting. I speak to a lot of. There's a lot of decent migrants. Like, I've worked with people. I've worked with migrants. I've worked with refugees. I had a football game with a family
It's 50-50
from Syria.
Yeah.
There were this family from Syria that didn't know how to speak English. The daughter, but they weren't under Sharia. They had the hijab on, but they didn't have the burqa. And the hijab, 100% fine. But I tried to have a conversation with a man once, and his wife was wearing a burqa, and I just walked away. Like, I don't care if anybody's going to call me a bigot for that. If anybody's going to call me a racist, I won't have a conversation with anybody that's wearing a burqa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
It's just,
I agree.
it's not happening. For one, it makes me feel very uncomfortable. I don't have a conversation with somebody if they have their hood up and a mask on. I'm not going to have I don't know who's underneath there. I don't know, and you're not even allowed to speak to the wife without asking the husband. So if you look at the wife, even with the burqa on, that's seen as a sign of disrespect. That's regression to me. I don't want to be living in a society where everybody's running around in a burqa. Okay, if you want to wear one, you're a free choice. But
Stone Age society doesn't exist to me, man. Honestly, I say it as it is, like yourself. Stone Age, I am not part of that shit. Like, so, I'm a no filter guy. I say it as it is, and it gets me in trouble sometimes.
Well, listen, I mean, saying that you
beat me up.
Look, I won't even have a conversation with the bloke that not allows his woman, but that sort of tells his woman to dress in a burqa because other men shouldn't be looking at her, or that he can't control himself. Because this, if a woman's wearing a burqa, there's a good chance that she's accepting beatings at home because they're full Sharia. They go by Sharia.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
If she doesn't do what she's told, or if he's having a bad day, he's allowed to beat her. Where's the feminists when it comes to that?
They're nowhere to be seen. Yeah, not a sign of them. Yeah,
it's so hypocritical, unbelievable. But I see it in Dublin. I've seen it in Belfast. I've seen a few people wearing burqas in Belfast, but I've seen them in Dublin, full blown burqa, and we were in. There was a new chicken shop in Lisburn, and there was a whole family, and there were Muslims, and they were fine. My son was playing with the kids. One thing I didn't like, though, and I'm going to be honest with you, right? The kids were speaking English to me, and they were nice, but the mum just stayed away from us. And every time she spoke to the kids, she was speaking in Arabic. And I found that really fucking disrespectful. Now, it's different.
It is. It is disrespectful.
I was thinking to myself here, my son's playing with your kids. We're having a dialogue with your kids. Everybody's good here. You've came over here. You haven't even, you've came over, not over to the country. She can do whatever she wants. I'm not against that, but I'm saying you've came into our space. Your kids actually approached us. We're happy with that. And you're not even going to approach us to say hello. And I know that you can speak English because your kids speak English. And it was just a level of disrespect that I didn't like. And I sort of told my son, I goes, no, come on over here. I goes, no, we're not having that, because she came over and she sat down. So there, and then, as I say, I've had other experiences where I had a communication game of football with, there was a fella, he didn't speak any English. He lived in Syria, but then in Egypt. And his son came over to me. His two sons came over to me, and I goes to the younger son, I goes, what's your name? And he goes, Jacob. And his brother punched him and said, you don't call yourself Jacob here. It's Jason or something. And I goes, no. If he wants to be called Jacob, that's fine. His name's Jacob. He goes, I know, but we're teaching him how to speak English, and we don't speak to use in a different language. And his dad came over and he says, me speak no English, but he held up a football and he goes, you play soccer? I went, yeah. So we're just kicking the ball back and forth, and his kids came along. His daughter was there. She was wearing a hijab. We're all sitting having a bit of crack. I was talking about the culture. They were telling me about Egypt, the pyramids. It was so fascinating. Really, really good, interesting people. Really, really respectful. But then there's these other fuckers that, that just, I suppose it's like people, you get fuckers everywhere that just don't care. They're just ignorant bastards. But I didn't appreciate that the other day. And I didn't like that. And I told my son, no, just stay away from them. Because I didn't know. They didn't like us. They probably see me as an infidel.
I don't believe that, Ron. Honestly, you have a free mind, so that's what I say. You speak your mind. See how it is. Yeah.
But it's that they probably say, and what I'm saying is because my missus was sitting there, right, and we were laughing and we were having a bit of crack, and I'm thinking to myself, did she see us as unpure and an infidel?
I don't give a fuck what they think.
But I know you don't, but I'm talking about, I know you don't, and neither do I. Don't give a fuck. We walked out of the shop and we didn't care, but I'm saying, thinking back at it now, right? Did she see us as a second-class citizen because she was Muslim, so she didn't need to show us any respect? Like, whenever I say she showed us no respect, she showed us no respect. Like, my son, I think he gave one of the kids a drink. Like his fruit.
Did she just ignore you, like, straight away?
Completely blanked.
Blanked you, yeah. That to me, I say, fuck you, bitch. Have a nice day. That's it. Fuck off. That's what I said. Just fuck off.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I've got my son. I don't want to see his dad treat a woman with disrespect. So I just know, okay, let's leave now. But looking back at it now, I think she didn't like us because we were white, like.
Yeah, just ditch her, like. Just tell her to go fuck herself, like. Even if I had a child running, like, I'd tell her to go fuck herself, like, go fuck off.
I know. It's different though. See, when you have a kid, it's, my son, he picks up on shit. Like, as I say, he's sort of like, he's coming out with shit to me. Like, he doesn't understand why white people breed with other races. He asked me this, as I say, today in the swim when we were going swimming.
I get that. Yeah.
I was like, mate, that's not how people, like, everybody just gets with each other. Like, if you grow up and you have a girlfriend from Spain or China, it's all right, whatever. Like, and he's like, nope. And I have no influence on him. So if he reacts to a lot of what I do. So if he's seen me act like if I said, fuck you and your disrespect, he might then say that to somebody else who doesn't deserve it. Do you know what I mean? So I need to be careful when it's around him. But 100% disrespect. But I'm giving you the two parallels are, there was the Syrian family that didn't really speak English that were absolute beautiful people, and we communicated through soccer, and we had a laugh that evening. That was about 4 summers ago. But then the experience I had today, 2 days ago, was just total disrespect. And I think it was because we were white and we weren't Muslim. And I was wearing this too. So I don't know maybe if that had something to do with it. So listen, fuck it, is you're right. If you're watching this, fuck you, bitch. Right? Fuck you,
bitch. Fuck you.
Right?
Fuck you.
How about that? There's no kids here, bitch.
Well, suck it. Suck it in hell.
Suck it. Right? It's absolutely sorry. And if you got a problem, just send them on round. Send your husband round. We'll have a bare knuckle in the street. How about that? And it'll all be good. Afterwards, we'll get it out of our system. So right,
let me call me. I'll be up there.
Right, so
in a heartbeat.
So what we're going to so I want you to see this here. So this is Ireland is racist, right? So what do you hear this here?
Try so hard to be British.
Irish people try so hard to be British. So,
they call me racist for being far left, which I laugh at, like you said, Ron.
Right, so here we go, right? Here we go.
Try so hard to be British. I mean that by saying that you guys try so hard to be racist like the British people. The British people show you hidden racism. The British people show you things that are so subtle that you wouldn't even catch as racism.
Brits out, radical Sharia law in. How about that, kiddo? You know what I mean? The Brits
bring in Sharia.
Hold on, so the Brits show you.
Sharia into our house.
I got into a fight. In Manchester because a Brit called me a Fenian bastard, right? And he was a squatty, and we got into a fight in Manchester, and we had a proper scrap. Now,
I got for a piss. Run back in a sec.
100%.
Back in a sec.
100%. And I'll tell you while he's away for a piss. I'll tell this story, right? Because I want Solway to see this video, and he called me a Fenian. And there was Smokey, we were in the Manchester United club, and there was just a big scrap. And afterwards, we were all just laughing. Now, you could put that down to racism. You could put that down to sectarianism. You could put that down to him looking down at me. But after you get punched in the face 6 or 7 times like I did and like he did, it was all okay. Do you know what I mean? We called him a squatty cunt, a Brit. And he agreed. He goes, I am a Brit. He goes, I am a squatty cunt. He goes, and it is what it is. So is England, every culture is racist. Every culture is tribal. Every culture wants to protect its own tribe. And I think sometimes we mix up racism with tribalism. Do you know what I mean? Because there's plenty of Irish nationalists that are black, or plenty of I met an Irish nationalist that was Muslim, and he wasn't. I think like he was born here, but his whole family was from the Middle East, and he was an Irish nationalist. I met him at the nationalist protest, and he had more conservative policies than I had. So I think it's more tribalism. I think that's what it is. When people are when we see our culture changing, we don't want that to happen. I think that's what it is. So I think that's Soul way back. Saladin says,
"I'm back, buddy. I'm back. I'm back."
Do you know what I mean? So
can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I'm getting good comments here. So he says, I'm proud Fenian. Somebody was in my comment section, and I shared a short video of a guy from I forget the name. Oh my god, why do I always forget names, man? I was just up there the other day. Oh, it's a unionist area in Belfast. I hate that whenever names just fly off my head. Right, anyway, right, it's a real union stronghold in Belfast, right? And I shared a short from this here, and somebody wrote in the comment section, "Dirty Hun," right? But they weren't saying it to me. They were saying it to the guy in the short. Now, you call a Catholic a sectarian term for a Catholic here. Like for me, you call me a Fenian, right? Or if you're going to be sectarian towards a Protestant, you would call them a Hun, or you say, "Ah, mate, your eyes are too close together because of all the inbreeding." Right? It's not true. It's just a bit of crack, right? It's just what we do, right? And they were having that conversation in the comment section, and Stevie Boy said there, "I'm a proud Fenian." Now, does Fenian means Irish warrior, doesn't it? Isn't that what that means in Irish?
I think so. A
actually, warrior or something. Well, apparently Hun is also Gaelic for a type of a warrior. So we're up here. We're up here calling each other warriors, thinking that they're slurs.
Yeah.
So we're fucking. But you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I have a Christmas song that I used to sing to my Protestant mates, right? Like I have one, he was a hardcore unionist, and we used to wind him up, right, about a United Ireland, and he used to go mad, like, and I had a see if I sung that Christmas song here, like the whole live would just be took down. It's everything racist, bigoted, everything's in it.
So good, so funny, man. That's so fucking funny.
You know, we have a bit of crack. Like my best friend's a fucking unionist, you know. Right, so we'll react to this here. We'll go back and we'll react to this here fully. So apparently Ireland is racist. Here we go.
So hard to be British, and I mean that by saying that you guys try so hard to be racist like the British people. The British people show you hidden racism. The British people show you things that are so subtle that you wouldn't even catch as racism. Whereas in America, it's more in your face, and that's what I mean. And it's so crazy because you guys are Irish. You guys should know what it.
Hold on here. What do you mean in America? It's all in your face. What does that mean? I'm seeing morbidly obese black people in America. They don't seem oppressed to me.
America? What is he talking about? Like he doesn't. He's not even in. He doesn't know what he's saying. Like for fuck's sake.
What's he talking about here? Okay, yes, America had a problem. Guess what? There was every race has been enslaved at some part of history.
Yeah,
get over it. Okay,
the Irish were slave to the fucking Irish people were slave to the Aztecs or the fucking Egyptians, like for fuck's sake. Like
there's slavery still going on in Africa. There's human trafficking markets. I've got a thing on my X. Go check it out where there's actual markets where people go to buy other people for slaves in Africa. So slavery exists still to this day. But guess where? Africa. So I mean, and America, sure. I mean, everybody has the same opportunities in America and the West now. Okay, so I'm not saying there's no racism, but I'm sure racism still exists to a certain degree. But I mean, you can't really kick out all racism because it's just there. Like you go to China, it's racist. You go to Africa, it's racist. South America, Ireland, England, all over the world, it's racist. I mean. Okay. Yeah, Kim Jong-un's the most racist guy that you ever come across in your life. North Korea. I'd love to meet him, you know
that. Ronan, you and me need to meet him. We might sort some shit out, like, or get decapitated.
Green lives matter. Green lives, exactly. Like, I mean, I come out with the term "all lives matter," and they go, "You're a bigot." I'm like, I just don't want to box people into racial boxes.
Let's talk about North Korea. Yeah. Let's talk about North Korea when green lives matter. Yeah. Let's talk about North Korea.
So we'll listen on here.
It's what it
feels like to be discriminated against, but yet you do the same thing to other people of color. I thought. You'd think that with what you guys went through, you'd also be understanding, but some of you're not. You're not. You guys speak about United Ireland and wanting Irish back, but really all you want is just the immigrants to be gone and just to have a pure Ireland or whatever you call it.
Well, I mean, mate, I don't want to break it to him here, right? I don't want to say this in a bad way, but I need to be honest with you, right? But that's like, you know. like, I really don't want to be bad to him here because I support him. He's more than welcome in Ireland. He's an Irish lad. Fair fucking play to him. I don't care about the color of your skin, whatever,
Don't
right?
give a shit about your skin. Yeah.
But yeah, mate, you're not that I don't care about the migrants. We'll help out the countries that need help. We're going to put a cap on refugees. We're going to have a good, healthy immigration policy so good people like yourself can come into the country. I'm sure this guy's a standout person of the community that works very, very hard. But yeah, I sort of want to preserve the heritage of Ireland and not turn it into a slum. Yeah, so yeah, I want Ireland. Okay, good immigration policy, but I mean, yeah,
in a legal way. In a legal way, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, do we? That's like me going over to a South American country. Let's kick out the Argentinians because it's not diverse enough.
But
Do you know
Ron,
what I mean?
look at this way. Pushka was denied access into the UK from his previous convictions, but came over to Ireland, lived 10 years, and he decided one day to go on the canal line to assault women. And look at the outturn. Says it all to me. Says it all to me.
But like Varadkar tried to play that off as oh, he worked hard. He worked for 10 years and then he didn't work for fucking 10 years.
He didn't work at all. Didn't work at all.
So you're telling me Varadkar outright lied about that then?
He lied. He didn't work. He was signing on. He got a free house. His text messages in the courthouse I've seen that his text messages saying, lads, come over. You got everything for free over here. Free housing, free everything. He was sending text messages to his own comrades in his own country. And that's what they don't tell you, Rona, which I found out. They don't tell you that in the court cases. I found those details out myself. He's telling his own, telling his own buddies to come over. You get everything for free, housing, everything. You don't have to do fuck all. You don't have to work. So that's Pushka for you.
I mean, like, that makes me fucking angry, mate. Do you know what I mean? It makes me angry to the point where I'm thinking to myself, like, that makes me so. I can't even describe it in words. It makes me so angry. Like that young girl.
And the judge spoke those things out in the court case. The judge looked over those text messages that he sent back to his buddies in his own country. That's it. That's where it is. Like, I found out lately. He was saying free for all in Ireland after his conviction.
And you know what? People need to realize. Do you know what? We'll react to this video, right? And then I want to speak about something else because there is a serious issue that we're not talking about. And there's an issue it's of Eastern Europeans coming in here. And we need to have a conversation about that because I have experience in that. I have worked with a lot of Eastern Europeans that have. We'll react to this and then we'll talk about that next.
Remember, you guys were immigrants too, not too long ago. Remember, you was right. No blacks, no Irish, no dogs. Remember that. So some of you better think before you say. Remember your ancestors. Remember what they were doing. You can't just be now becoming the oppressors. You can't just becoming what you hated. I've lived in this country for a long time, and I can fully say you guys are very racist, and you guys need to do better because this is disgusting, very disgusting. Some of you are disgusting.
What I'm going to say is, right, and I need to be careful. I'm just going to speak what I think, right? So if anybody is actually going to go up to this guy and persecute him because of the color of his skin, you're disgusting. And I want fuck all to do with you, right? I don't care about the color of somebody's skin, right? Now, if he's experienced racism, I fucking disagree with that. And that should be eradicated. I get that. Everybody should be able to live and not be judged on the color of their skin, right? There's going to be a lot of people that are racist that disagree with that. Okay, that's my standpoint. Now, he said something there about the Irish immigrating all around the world, right? And he's right. The Irish did immigrate all around the world. But there's a massive, 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 massive difference. Number one, right? The Irish were persecuted. They're persecuted against. We fought for civil rights in 1968, kicked off. There was the conflict against Britain. And everything, and it stopped 1998. Still ongoing a little bit, paramilitary gangs and all the rest. But the Irish immigrated, and they immigrated to Australia, America, all around the world, right? And we were welcomed with open arms. We were welcomed that much that they celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And we were loved that much that the Native Americans sent over $500, which was a lot of money to them back in the day, to help during the famine, right? And there is in Cork, I think it's Cork, don't quote me in the exact place, there's a monument that celebrates the Native Americans giving us this money, right? And we're very thankful. So what's the difference? When we went into a society, say, let's talk about America, right? We didn't try to change that culture. When the Italians went into America, they didn't try to change that culture. What they done was they embraced the American dream, i.e. basically the Federal Reserve. That's for a different video. But they embraced the illusion of what the American dream was at the time. Was there bad elements to the Irish? Yes, there was the mob. But if you look at all the different cultures in America at the time, they had their own faction of what a mob was. Italian, Mexican, Irish, right? But the Irish mob moved into the unions, which basically runs America today. The Irish mob moved into, whenever it was broke down in the late 1980s, moved into the unions and the NYPD, which is what, if you look at it now, one of the most diverse police forces in the world, where it's like 85% black. So if we're that systematically racist, we wouldn't want to accept anybody in our own unions that we've created around the world, i.e. the NYPD unions, the workers' union, even in Australia. So we immigrated, but we didn't change society. And if you ask anybody in America right now, if an Irish American say that it's got Irish heritage, are you Irish? Are you an American? They will say, I am an American. If you ask anybody, or any of the girls and boys that are coming over here from Africa and the Middle East, they will say, I am said country first. They will not say that they're Irish. And a lot of them are here just because of the benefits Ireland are willing to give out. The Irish immigrated to America and all around the world to help that country thrive. The Irish people built basically half of England. The Irish people built half of America. They built Australia. They built a lot of places around the world. They were known for that. There's one other culture that's known for that, and that's the Polish. The Polish are very much like the Irish when it comes to their work ethic. A lot of the people, and I've just spoke to a lady the other day, yesterday, who works with a lot of immigrants that have came here illegally, and they've claimed asylum, and now they've got a citizenship, and now that they're working here. And she says to me, she can't come forward and say how lazy these fucking people are. They don't work. She has to do a job for 3 people because they come in and they don't do the job. This isn't a care home. And she actually, whenever she takes it to the boss and says, look, these people aren't pulling their weight. There's old people not being looked after. There's people with dementia not being looked after. Because there's a diversity quota, nothing's done about it. So what's the issue here? Well, there's people coming in here because they think they're going to get a free ride. Puska, as you just said, Solway, Puska. So the difference between the Irish and a lot of others, and I'm not aiming that at that young fellow there, because I'm sure he's a very hard worker, but there's a lot of people, regardless of their skin color, come here because Ireland is an easy touch. Irish people did not move to America because it was an easy touch.
Yeah,
they
Pushka, man. Pushka.
They moved to America because they knew that they were going to have to work hard, and they had the opportunity of getting the American dream. That's the fucking difference. Sorry. Oh, hold on. I've got Saladin here.
What's up, people?
Your volume's pretty low, mate.
That's it, man. That's it. It's true. It's true. Ronan, can you hear me?
Saladin, your volume's low.
Around with it now. Try to turn it up.
Come on, Salad. Come on, son. Come on. On, Salad. See what happens.
So yes, a little bit better, mate. What are you using your phone?
There we go, buddy. There we go. You're getting there.
on me headphones.
Just
There you go, bud.
I can hear you better now, mate. I can hear you better now.
Cool, what's up, people? Yeah,
All
no, it's
good,
funny
mate.
you were saying there about Irish people going abroad, yeah? I went over to visit me auntie in Australia there about 2 years ago. And I'm telling you, the amount of things built by Irish people, like the biggest dam in Australia, for instance, built by an Irishman. They have a statue and all, photos of him, posing with photos of him beside it. It totally caught me off guard how much the Irish people did when they did go abroad, you know? Just thought I'd jump in when you were talking about that. That was good.
No, 100%, mate.
That other
100%.
chap you had on, that coloured chap, he's screaming
Well,
NGO to me.
Big respects, like
Screaming NGO to me.
Yeah, 100%, mate. You get a lot of these people coming on here, and I'm seeing this rise. Now, listen, I'm not denying that there's, as I say, there's racists everywhere. You can't eradicate racism. It's like you go to Africa, you're going to get racists. You go to Australia, you get racist. It's just, I mean, just because there's one person that maybe says something to another race, but guess what? You know who the biggest racists are? The liberals in Ireland who want to house people like cattle in the middle of fields just to get their votes. That to me is modern day slavery.
that's true. That is true. They're just
You know what I
using
mean?
people. That's all they're doing.
Right? Did you hear the story? I want to get your opinions in this here. Did you hear the story about the guy? So it was worded. It was worded a certain way. I'm going to get this up on my pad for you to react to. So it was a guy who was convicted of racism in Dublin airport, but they says man in Dublin airport convicted of racist charge, and it shows you a picture of him, and you don't know whether he's Irish or not, but they don't specify if this guy's Irish. Do you know what I mean? But it actually turned out
Big guy, he looks like Eastern European or something.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. We're actually importing a lot of actual racists, and people don't know this. I worked with a guy called Pavel, and he was from Bulgaria, and he told me he came to the building site, and on the first day he says to me, "Me work with no ends," and he said the word like with the hard R. And I goes, "Where did you come from, mate?" He goes, "I live in Bulgaria, but I come from Montana. I work in Montana in England, in America." I says, right. I goes, "But mate, you know, we work with anybody here." He goes, No. My family fight for Hitler. And I went, "Mate, you cannot be saying that." We sacked him because we told him that our boss was gay and he wouldn't go near our boss. It was just a joke about. He took it serious. He was going to kill him. He was probably going to kill him. So there's a lot of these boyos coming over from Eastern Europe. And I seen a lot of them at the nationalist protest. And what people don't realize is they're hardcore anti-anything. Like, I mean, hardcore racist, real racist, like liberal racist. And people don't realize that. And that's what it is. So not only are we allowing in extremists, like possible terrorists, but we're actually importing legitimate racists that under this fucking open door policy.
See, it's they're getting many uses out of it, you see, because you mentioned there earlier about O'Gorman. So that suits the Rainbow Squad perfect. Having loads of people come in that object to that way of living, because then it gives him the option to turn around and ask the government to get more backing. They're just going to get more backing, then it's going to be side against side. You're just playing all these sides off each other. You can see it all. It's all in our faces.
It's like
I liken it to the veil lifting. That's what it is. That's what I liken it to all the time.
It's like problem reaction solution.
It's just that every party that is involved is in each other's ass. Like they're all involved. Like, so you can't get away from it. It's all WEF fucking parties. That's all it is. They're all fucking government fucking led by EU. So corrupt as fuck.
And it's interesting what you said there. It's like they're importing people that's going to oppose the views of the rainbow crowd that then gives the government an incentive to back the rainbow crowd and put more legislation in, like hate speech laws. When actually, in turn, if they had a good border policy, these people wouldn't come in and there would be no issues. It's like
we wouldn't have any issues. Yeah, simple as that.
Wow.
And these hormone blockers, like that Sinn Féin denied, fucking Mary Lou denied, and she retracted that statement as well. Hormone blockers for schools, and now Helen McEntee is involved, or hubby's involved in hormone blockers.
Yeah.
It all fits in. It all fits in.
ABV. I think they're called ABV.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abviv or something.
Yeah.
I done a video on it.
It's Sligo.
And there's definitely a massive conflict of interest.
Agenda. That's all. It's an agenda.
That's the word.
Government are pushing an agenda
because if you look at her husband, right?
Upon
so you have
people and schools and youth. Yeah.
You've Helen McEntee, right? Her husband in working for a pharmaceutical company that makes and sells hormone blockers, while at the same time she's legislating for hate speech bills, which will inhibit you from speaking about the hormone blockers and how dangerous they are for kids.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that would be an indication that there is.
Sinn Féin denied that, yeah.
Well, they had to back away.
Sorry for yeah, Sinn Féin, Mary Lou denied that, but they're all involved, so they're all in the
Sinn
EU
Féin,
pocket,
Mary Lou has two connections to it. She's a family member that transitioned, and then she has her sister that's involved. Her sister's involved.
All involved. It's a money-making scam.
So I want to show you. Look, man, racially. Here's the article here. We'll talk about that in just a little second. I want to show you his face, right? So, man racially abused Dublin airport worker by making monkey noises and asking her if she wanted a banana. Court hears. Now, look, right. That's the Irish Independent, which aren't like, I don't think they are. Why is this not going down for me? I hate the way these Macs work, man. Oh, get out of it. Need to get myself.
You get the wrong. Don't worry. Never panic.
It does my tits in. So look, so it says here. So that we don't know if that guy's Irish because but to me he looks Eastern European. So we'll go into the comments.
European, obviously. Look at the structure of.
So but here, listen, fucking the structure of some Irish people. You wouldn't know though. He could be. He could be a dog. Do you know what I mean? So people are saying, look, the title alone was clickbait. And this is the problem with is the Irish Independent right-wing media?
Good point. Very good point.
Good point. Yeah,
because
I agree with that.
They're sort of like gripped. They're sort of like gripped. They're a little bit more unbiased than most, but they were using this as clickbait. Racial fucking aggravating the people to click into their article. So the man, I don't know how to say that name, but it's some Eastern European name. So he's Eastern European, and what people need to realize is the Eastern Europeans are the most legitimate racists. And I mean proper. If you hear, like I had a conversation with Pavel, and he says to me some mad shit whenever he was in the army. It was mandatory service, and about what he used to take out. I'll leave it at that. And he used to do some mad shit. And here's another one, right? Now, this hasn't got anything to do with Ireland, but it does sort of, because the same sort of policies. New York taxes citizens and gives money to illegals. This is Elon Musk posting this. Fox News said New York City begins giving illegal immigrants prepaid debit cards as part of the 53 million pilot program. So what do you think about that?
I think that's fucked up. Like
that's more. That's what they're just doing. Exactly what the Irish government are doing. Getting votes.
Yeah.
Getting the votes.
Just following the vote system. That's all. Keep corrupting power. That's all it is. Elon is saying as is.
Like,
corruption
think
is
about
the
that.
key.
Like, I'll just tell you, right? I know a little bit about New York. A little bit. And that is one of the most corrupt places. Now, they are hardcore. When I say corrupt, they love their city, right? But if you see what's happening in that place right now, and that directly links into us, because the same thing that's happening in the United States is happening in Ireland.
Corruption.
So you better
That's all
bet
it
your
is.
bottom dollar that whenever New York starts paying illegal immigrants, Ireland will follow suit within the next couple of years. They'll start giving them, if they're maybe they're doing that already. Maybe you know something that I don't.
Well, I shared a video not long ago of them. It was sent to me through one of the WhatsApp groups of two lads that went into a hotel, and they all had like new electric scooters, and free charging them up for nothing. All in this big shed out the back of the hotel, and they were go on my page, you'll see it, and they're all charging their electric scooters now for free, getting bed and breakfast for free, going out and doing what they want.
That's an electric scooter. So what I want to do is, right, for the people to understand this, because there's a couple of people maybe don't understand how much an electric scooter is. So I'm going to Google, right, the average price of an electric scooter. So let me see. I'm a lazy cunt, so I'm going to just voice type this, right? What's the average price of an electric scooter?
I paid $5 for mine and I barely fucking used the thing.
Right. So here we go, right? The cheapest one you can get is 239 quid.
Right, times that by, if they're giving them all of them, 140,000. There you go. Start with
that. So you think about that, right? If you went and give Irish homeless, say out of the 14,000 Irish homeless people, right? Just say we're going to be a good estimate. Say 6,000 of them aren't on drugs, right? And they're capable. They're just find themselves in a very, very hard time in life. You give them accommodation and an electric scooter. What's the odds that the 6,000 that aren't on drugs, that are just find themselves in a hard spot in life, are going to go on and actually make something of their lives and benefit society? There's a good chance that they're going to do that, but they're not. Why is there such a push to help migrants that are homeless across the world than help the own people of Ireland? Why do you think that is?
That's Aladdin.
The overall, that brings you back. That brings me back into, like, makes me think of straight away. The first thing I think of is like the clergy plan, where it was, couldn't have clergy, wanted Europe with mixed race, the whole of Europe as a mixed race, easier to control and manipulate. That's the whole point of that. To me, that's my opinion.
And what I will say about that is, right, so I've been reading into that, right? I've been reading into the clergy plan, right? And yes, and the first thing that stands out to me, right, I have to say it's just a theory, we're not saying this is fact. It was on Wikipedia. We know how Wikipedia is corrupted, right? We know it's corrupted. We know that. How I know Wikipedia is corrupted is because of what they've wrote about Graham Hancock. And we know that that's 100% fabricated, and he can't change his own Wikipedia, right? So we know Wikipedia is corrupted. And the first thing that was said to me, or was said from Wikipedia, was that a right-wing conspiracy theory. Now, whenever I hear that term, I go, oh shit, it must be right then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's that saying? The difference between conspiracy theory and fact, about 2 to 3 years or something. Because it seems to be, and it's speeding up. All that conspiracy talk about, like, things I found out about 20 years ago, like Operation Paperclip, things like that. Look how long it took me to even come across something like that. Like, they did a very good job of, but I suppose with the internet and how fast it is now and everything, it's just, the information is just coming so fast to us, you know. And
100%.
If we keep letting them fucking chip away and take it away, like, you can't say certain things, like if TikTok, for instance. Do you know what I found really strange? Going back onto it, you can't say the 3 letters NGO. It removes your comment straight away. That's really bizarre to me. It's just like, I had to be clever and do like a NGO, and the O had a little chicken over it, you know, like a foreign language or something. That's the only way I could get it to work.
NGO, non-government organization, is a banned word.
Yeah, they immediately, and I tested it like 2 or 3 times in a row, and it was immediate. It was in like within 10 seconds. It was taking the comment down. It blew
So
me
can
right
you
there.
explain? Can you explain then to people that don't understand what an NGO is? Can you explain to them what that is?
So they're meant to be organizations set up within local communities. They really, the root of them is Agenda 21. Agenda 21 really pushed the NGO thing big time. That's when you've seen a big increase in numbers in it. For instance, in Ireland we have I think we're up to 34,000 of them now. But it basically stands for non-governmental organisation that's meant to be installed in areas and help communities build, like start like men's sheds. That's one of the things they use. Men's sheds, put like a front on, like they're actually helping the elderly within the area. But Jesus, after the great whooping cough, to me, they want rid of the bleeding elderly. They want
So
to be helping the elderly.
what it seems like to me is that if we're back in the 1940s, an NGO would be set up by a certain person that's running an organization that wants to exterminate another group of people, to oversee communities and actually rat on them, and to see where the public supports are going, or where, for instance, like an NGO could be used. Oh, I'm here to help you, but realistically, they're not. They're there to basically information gatherers, sort of like many organizations, like many intelligence agencies, to siphon valuable information back to governments. So then that could be sort of
like micromanaging. You could say basically like micromanaging on
sort
a
of
large
like
scale.
Like you've got you had certain organizations, certain regimes that going around the world, and they had their own little. They weren't police. They didn't really have any authority over you, but they could have direct access to authority that could maybe affect your life.
And certain ones, the likes of Shell, that's one. Forza is another one. You'll notice if you watch them, like what I found really bizarre about them type of people was I went to that Let Women Speak, that Posey Parker, when she came into town. I went into that one. And when she did all the Shell and all came out with the Rainbow Crew on the other side. And honest to God, anytime Rosie went to talk, it was like this, I got this weird vibe from behind me, because I always kept me back to them. And I was trying to keep camera on getting the speakers, all the ladies. But you can feel it, man. It's just the people that they are, they're not fully human.
Yeah, so it's there. For instance, if you said anything out of the ordinary to them, like if you went to an NGO and says, "Well, I'm worried about a certain group of people in my area," that possibly might not go in your favor. They might not take you as serious. Like if you were pro LGBTQ, pro immigration, like open borders, pro everything, pro pharmaceutical, and all the rest of that shit, then you're probably going to be in the favors of the NGOs. But if you're anti that, then you're basically their enemy.
You're ostracized, yeah.
That's
like what they did to, like what they did, like what the West did to Russia. You're just ostracized from everything.
Wow. And it's crazy that when did the NGOs start to come into the Republic then? When was it a big thing? When did you start to notice them?
Myself was probably when they start with the counter protests for myself. I remember going into some of them with, I don't know, people remember Graham Carey. He was a great man, very, very religious, but he was at everything. He went outside the HSE buildings and everything. And there's always a certain group of them that followed them, so it showed me a lot. It showed me that saying, listen to those who people shout about the most or are aggressive towards the most, because they're saying something that people don't like. Listen to all, don't follow, never follow, but always listen. And I always found him to be quite, because his main thing was the children. And that's what's, I know I keep going off on tangents, but that's what got me.
It makes sense.
That's what got me.
You're 100%, buddy. You understand? But
Yeah,
continue on.
I noticed them coming out counter protesting. For me, that was the big one. So about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, for myself,
And
just seeing
what's
these people counter protesting, I'm like, what you doing?
And what's the high likely that the ones that me and Solway met in outside the GPO, what's the likely that they are connected to an NGO?
Guaranteed they are. Guaranteed.
Well, you can look at all these you can look at them all as individuals, right? And you can say to yourself, well, he could be just a weirdo and he's doing it for his own self-gratification. But this chap that you bumped into, and I said it to you, Cabbage, I said, the fellow with the beard and the glasses, he's known to be always on that side. And he's somewhat of I said, who are these? Because I think I commented on your video. I said, thinks he's a bleeding gatekeeper or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know? People like with this motive that they're some sort of gatekeeper, and no, you're not going to come in here and question these people, or they're not going to tell you what you want to hear. You know this.
We came in there though. We came in there. We destroyed them. Like, we proved what they were. Like, yeah.
Just looking back at it.
Yeah.
If you look back at it now, I've scrutinized the video because this word NGO kept coming up, and people were telling me the behaviors of NGOs, like nationalist protests, anti-immigration protests, hard border protests and things like that. And they were saying you'll see them; they've got their little yellow jackets on and they're walking around and they're mediating the groups. And if you're not, for instance, if you want to identify an NGO, if you walk into the area that the NGOs are congregating, that are connected to the NGOs, and they don't know your face, then they will automatically swarm you, even if you go with their policies. Even if I had went in there and say, listen, I'm one of you guys, they don't want me in the group.
Yeah. They don't want me
because they don't want to know who we could be moles getting information. So one of the reasons what I've been told now is that yes, that there was a few of them connected to NGOs, and it wouldn't have mattered even if I had went in there with a pro-refugee flag, because they're actually an organization that are tight-knit, and that's the way it goes. So it's quite interesting to see these little sub-factions being created in Ireland. And listen, proofs in the pudding. 3/4 of Ireland support a better immigration policy and a cap on refugees. So the Irish people have spoken, but the government is not listening. And these NGOs are definitely 100% against the Irish people. So on that basis alone, I would say that Ireland is moving very, very quickly into sort of some weird hybrid Nazi state with NGOs and politically minded Garda. Do you know what I mean? It's so strange. It's a very, very weird thing. I want you to react to. I want the last thing we're going to react to.
Yeah.
I appreciate both of you coming on. I want you to see this. And I had to take it off the screen because it was glitching my screen, because for some reason X uses a lot of internet. So this is Helen McEntee talking about the EU immigration pact, right? Let me just share this to the screen. So I'll play this for you, right? Sorry if this is glitching, folks. You will get to hear it though. I'm using Wi-Fi. So let me just play this now.
Let's be clear here. If we do not opt in, then we are not part of an EU-wide system. We are not part of a mandatory system, which means that people can be processed, and if they receive a negative decision, returned home more quickly. But also, and importantly, as an island, the vast majority of people who come here, they come on secondary movements. They've been in another country. That we are not part of this, and there will be no agreement with any other member state to return people where they already have asylum in another country. Let's be clear here.
So she's talking about the EU immigration pact, right? Now, she's really, really, really pushing for this, people. And the fact that she's pushing for it, this is going to affect you lads in a big way. It'll affect Ireland. It'll affect the North here if there's when there's a united Ireland, should I say, because there's going to be a united Ireland within the next 10 to 20 years. It will be in my lifetime. So the people of the North have to take note of this here, the political landscape of the Republic of Ireland. That, and you just need to know this. I want to start off like this. Anybody that's watching from the north, you just call yourselves Irish nationalists, right? On the nationalist side of things, if you go across the border and call yourself an Irish nationalist, they call you a far right bigot. So you have that clip you've just watched is talking about the EU immigration pact, where basically it's passing the buck on to Europe. So whenever there is mass immigration into Ireland and the culture changes drastically over the next 10 to 20 years, they can say, well, it wasn't us, it was Europe because we were forced into the EU immigration pact. But that's Helen McEntee now saying that they have to go for it. But they don't have to go for it. They can opt out of this straight away. But what do you think, like both of you think about the EU immigration pact?
Ronan, to me, I just think it's the biggest pile of shit piss ever. These are just following rules that have nothing to do with them. Like EU fucking destruction of fucking countries. That's all it is. They're destroying countries with these rules. That's all they're doing. Sweden is proof of that, like with bombers and fucking open borders, pipe bombers every day a week in McDonald's, and you fucking name it. You can look up the statistics in these countries. Like EU is fucking these countries over. That's all it is. To me, that's Helen wants this to happen to Ireland, to sell Ireland so she can fuck off to fucking where fucking Varadkar's going. Like, in my opinion, like they're all in it for themselves and where my bank balance is. Yeah. That's it. It's just they're all selling out this country as we speak. Like they're selling out to pedophiles and fucking a Jack the Ripper. Like, that's all they're doing. They don't give a fuck with Irish. Irish people fucking are. We are the immigrants of this country now. The immigrants are taking over. That's the way it is.
What do you think?
I think it's 20% at the moment, isn't it? It's 20% to 80% at the moment.
Of what?
Of the population of Ireland. They did a survey recently.
20% is immigrants?
Yeah, or of immigrant descent.
Like that's a big percentage. Like, and that's happened. That's radical change over what, 5 years?
Oh, it's been a while. Like, see, you know myself that where my father's from and all, right? You know that. My father's from Pakistan, but like, I said to you, it never really dawned on me that this was ever going to happen in Ireland. Something on this scale was ever going to happen in Ireland. So, I mean, I'm kind of myself in a rock and a hard place because there's a few incidents where, you know, I told you privately, family members saying certain things, you know. Well, I tell everyone actually. It was like they'd come up and they'd say, "Why would you go out?" They probably don't even think you're Irish, you know. So all these things added to me actually paying attention and waking up. I was already paying attention, and if anything, it just made me stronger. It put a shield around me in a way, and made me more fucking intrigued to go out and find out what's really going on here. And that's what everyone has to get installed in them. Are you not interested in finding out what the fuck is going on with our country?
Yeah,
because it's disappearing in front of our eyes.
Well, that's the thing.
It's on my doorstep. You seen my recent one there in Coolock? It's on my doorstep now.
Well, that's the thing. Like you did tell me that, you know, I'm not going to ever come out with information that anybody tells me, but you did tell me that, and you came and you said it there. And look, nobody in Ireland is against people immigrating here. Nobody is against people.
We're not against that whatsoever. We're not.
And that's the thing. And if it doesn't matter if your skin color or what, there's black Irish people, there's black people in America that have genetic ties to Ireland. So listen, it's not about skin color. It's not even about religion. But what it is about, it's about, for instance, you grew up in a culture, in an Irish culture. You're Irish. You're an Irish man, right? You're a part of the nationalist movement that wants their country secured. But right now in Ireland, from the woman who blew the whistle in this here, she said that there is 150 plus jihadi terrorists that reside in Ireland. That's 150 plus. That could mean 1,000 people that hate Western democracy.
Like
These aren't
sleeper cells.
These aren't Palestinian refugees. These aren't asylum seekers. These are 100 people that have crept in with the open border policy. So where we can admit, okay, every country does their fair share of looking after refugees, and every country has a good legal process where people like your father can come in and raise a family and become a part of society. Nobody wants to stop that. But the open door policy that Ireland has adopted, not just recently, but if you look at 2004, this was adopted. It was in 2004 but it was only since 2010 there was this massive shift. And for me personally, I don't want to be too conspiratorial, but after 9/11, there was just this mass craziness in the Middle East, obviously because of the war, but it created it unsettled something, and lots of people flooded to Europe. And over the past 5 years, it's just gotten drastically worse, where African people have realized, hold on, it's open door policy in Ireland, England, and European countries, and they're actually promoting it. You've got people like O'Gorman with tweets in 8 different languages, like we reviewed today. So nobody's giving off about somebody's skin color, but we're trying to protect our heritage. We're trying to protect who we are and our land. We wouldn't have allowed this.
Yeah, our country. Protect our country.
Germans, you know what I'm trying to say? Let me say it in this point, and then I'll let you have your say. But we wouldn't allow the Germans to come in years ago and fucking bomb us and take over our land, even though Ireland was neutral. So why would we allow an invasion in a different way? That's where I'm coming from, and that's what it means. It's nothing to do with skin color or fucking religion or anything like that. We need to protect the Irish heritage. And if people want to be technical about this, my brother speaks fluent Irish, right? And he's a teacher. He had a conversation with a guy from Pakistan, and the guy was able to understand his language, even though the guy didn't learn Irish, because Arabic and Irish are very interconnected with each other. People don't realize that. So there's an interconnection between languages throughout thousands of years. This isn't to do with kick out the people that aren't white. It's got fuck all to do with that. It's about there is a religious change. We're moving away from Christianity. There's a cultural change. I don't know if you've seen the thing today. Jester eggs instead of Easter eggs, because we don't want to offend the demonic. So, do you know what I mean? That's what we're fighting against here. That's all it is.
Ronan, can I say something just for
work away.
Peace sake, just fucking, why the fuck are we even entertaining this to be fighting Irish, for fuck's sake? We should be standing together, stand around and take over. It's just we won 800 years against fucking everything else. Like, why now are we thrown in the fucking towel? Like, just what the fuck is going on? Like, are we too lazy in our minds, or what is it like?
It's diversity. We're thinking it's the right thing, helping people, but we're not the United States of America. We're a tiny little island. Do you know what I mean? A tiny little island that needs to be preserved. And if we're not going to balance preservation along with helping people, and we're just going to outweigh it to helping people and having open door policies where you have child trafficking gangs coming in, trafficking little girls into brothels, then that's where the line. That's where you need radical change. It needs total 100% reform. The top 7 political parties do not represent Ireland, and that's why 3/4 of the population does not support them, and they need to realize that now, and that's why they're bringing in a lot of these people too, because they're given an Irish ID card which allows them to vote in a general election, and it's basically just modern day slavery. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's simple as it. Yeah, you said it. I can't disagree, because it's happening. Like, it's fact of life. It's fact of this government's fucking us over. Like, so
yeah, 100%. Listen, we're up to the 2-hour mark, 2 hour 15 minutes. I'm gonna shoot on. Listen, lads, I appreciate both of you coming on. Hopefully I didn't speak over you too much. I know I had a bit of a rant there at the end, but
Well, you're good, man. You're good, man. I love this. I love this. Let's do it again.
100%. And Saladin, what
man,
about you? Yeah, good man. Thank you
keep
for.
up the good work. Keep sharing, share.
Well, listen, I'm going to move these lives to later on at night. I'm going to move them on to 9 o'clock at night for the foreseeable future because I think it's better. I was able to work out my timing for that there. So I'll move these lives to 9 o'clock at night, and then everybody can jump on. There's a few boys from the north that want to jump on too, so hopefully we can have a bigger panel. And respect every single one of you. And if you're watching on Rumble, make sure to give us a rumble and give it a share and leave a comment. If you're watching this on X, there's a few people watching this on X right now, I can see. Give it a retweet and leave a comment and share. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just do all the normals, the like, subscribe, share, these.
Remember, we're not far right. We're just right so far.
Exactly. You're going to take the words. You're going to take the words. You took the words right. That was literally the next thing I was going to say. Fair play to you.
We're right so far.
Yeah, exactly. And hold on, far right. Listen, it wasn't far left cabbage. So that I had far right cabbage, I had far left cabbage, and I had normal cabbage. I just
yeah, I don't like that far left cabbage. I feel a bit weird watching you something like that. It's like you're too good at it, man.
Do you know what I do though? I watch what do you call him? Sacha Baron Cohen. You know that guy who plays
I like.
Well, I know, but I watch him playing the far leftist. Do you ever see him playing the far leftist where he goes into Texas and he tries to build a mosque? Did you see that?
I've seen that.
And he talks about sharing his wife with migrants. So I stole a bit from that, but I actually, my missus, she didn't know. She goes, "What are you doing? What lives are you doing in there?" And I goes, "Well, actually, I play a role called Far Left Cabbage, and I share you with 10 African migrants." And she looked at me and went, "What the fuck?
You mad bastard! You mad bastard!" I said, you're a mad bastard. With respect.
Yeah. Well, listen here, lads. Respect to the chat. Respect to everybody listening. I'm going to shoot on here.
Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Peace out.